Hello everybody, and welcome back to my surface grinder project. As you can see, I've already made a pass across the top of this thing just to clean it up. Now, I did experience a very interesting phenomenon. Here you can see the finish I got. It's not bad. I did a light stoning on it after I ground it. It's very slow. If you want a good finish, you have to move very slow, and it's a very boring process to get that thing ground. And I ground this thing back to front. And I'm going to show you my dial indicator there. I'm set at 0. I'll even move it out. I'll move it out of range. I'm going to bring it back over slow. And she snaps right on 0. And now I'm going to move the table left to right. And I'm all the way at the end there. And I'm hoping that'll focus in on that. Yeah, I've only got a couple of tenths side to side. I'm moving it back now. There's it moving back over. But I did experience something that I hadn't planned on. Now this is a long process going from back to front. So I started grinding back here in the back, and I started going across and started working my way over here to the front. And watch what happens. I'm going to move the table. I'm going to start cranking the table back now. And watch what happens as I slowly come back. There, I'm at a half a thou. And this is very linear. It's very ramped. Just about center of the table. I'd say that probe's about center. There, I got a thou. And I keep going. She's still ramping up. There's a thou and a half. And I'm going to call that about 3/4 of the table. And here I'm going to get all the way to the end. Right there, I'm right at the end of the table. And I'm sitting I'm about 2 thou for the whole thing. Just a shade over 2 thousandths front to back. But still, here, let me go side to side. And she's just going to hold steady at that 2 thou all the way across. So side to side, no problem, nice and flat. Front to back, it's ramped up 2 thousandths. And I attribute it to this. As I started grinding in the back and moving forward, the whole time I'm losing grinding wheel. My grinding wheel is slowly wearing down, and it doesn't take much. 2 thousandths of an inch on a radius of that wheel is nothing. So as the wheel wears down, I lose diameter, and that's why I ended up with this 2 thousandths wedge of a table that I've got now. What I'm going to do to correct this, there's 2 ways to do it. This is one way I thought of doing it, is start in the back again and have it mapped out with lines, in Sharpie on the table, and bring my down feed down, because I know my wheel is going to degrade 2 thousandths of an inch across the entire surface, across this full 6-inch. I know my wheel is going to degrade 2 thousandths of an inch. Not really super scientific, and probably not the way to do it, but as I'm traversing across the table, bring my down feed down. Every couple of passes, bring it down maybe a tenth. I do have a very small vernier on here, right there, where I can control the down feed. Each one of these graduations is a half a thou. So each one of those lines is a tenth. So I can bring the spindle down very precisely. That's option A. And I'm not crazy about it. Option B is I come to the front, index off the back, get it where it's just dusting this back, where I don't hardly see any sparks. Get it off, get that indexed on this surface here. Bring it back to the front, drop it 2 thousandths, and start and regrind front to back. Now, the first time I do this, it's going to degrade till I get to the center again, and I'm going to end up, if I do that from front to back, I'm going to end up with a dish or an inverted dish, a dome. How's that? And all things being equal, if I start off at 2,000ths low here, if the wheel degrades to 1,000th by the time I get here, I'll have I'll be 1,000th high here. I'll be on spec here and here. And then it's just a matter of, after I've got the dome finish done, run back over it again at 1,000 and keep working on that middle until I get the middle flat. That is the method I am leaning towards right now. So I think I'm going to do that. I'm going to map out this table real quick and show you how wedged it is. I'm just going to use a big old fat Sharpie, that I just wrote on my Mitutoyo with. Oh, there we go. A Sharpie Magnum. Anyways, I'm going to map this out on the table and shoot another little quick video so you can kind of get a visual of what the table's doing. All right, but it is very linear from front to back. It's a very smooth transition. You can tell by the way the dial indicator moves. Here I'm out in the center now, still at 2,000ths, and I'll go ahead and run it to the back and see that indicator's dropping. I'm at 1,000 there. Coming up on a 1/2,000. You get some oil on that handle. And we're back at 0 right there. We're right on 0 right there. And there we are again, side to side. Perfectly straight. And if I run it side to side in any location, I am dead flat across here within a couple of tenths. It's just this front to back that's bugging me a little. Maybe I'm being anal with it, but I'm going to fix it. All right? But you can remember my first video what this table looked like. So it cleaned up really nice. I had a couple of little boogers. I had just a little divot there. And then this looks like the wheel got away from someone at some point here and here. And that must have been a pucker butt moment if they were sitting on a stool like that. They were probably sucking a little bit of Naugahyde, drawing a vacuum on that Naugahyde. But those must have been interesting tales. You know, if this Chuck could only talk. All right, let me get that mapped out, and I'm shoot another quick bit for you. Okay, here we got you mapped out, and you can kind of visualize where I'm at with it. That rear band, I'm on spec. We're calling that 0. And by the time I get to this this first line, I'm at a 1/2,000. When I get to this line, I'm at 1,000 high, and then here I'm 1,500. And by the time I get to the edge of the table, I'm 2,000ths. So that's pretty much dividing that very equally. And like I say, and I checked it in several places. You can see a few of my reference lines I put here, and I did it again here, and I did it out at the edge. So it's straight across. This whole thing's just grind into a wedge. So I'm gonna start off here at 2,000ths low, and work my way across. And that'll wipe out probably all this stuff, and I'll wipe it, it'll wipe out all my markings and everything, but I'll wipe it down with acetone when I'm done and see where we're at with it and measure it again. But let me do a little bit of grinding here. I thought this was going to be quick and easy. Throw a grinding wheel on there and true up my table. Didn't happen that way. So I'm learning my grinding techniques now. All right, stay tuned. And back again, and you can see the fresh grind. You can see the line right here where it kind of dipped in right here and back out here. This grind was front to back, and I've still got my lines here that I used. You can see where I touched off here and just dusted it, and I moved it all around to the front, and I started from the front and worked my way back. And so this is the second pass. At 0, at the back. And then I'm going to move up to my first line, which by all intents and purposes should be still a 1/2,000. I'm up to my first line. And yes, I'm at 1/2,000. Yes, I'm at my first line. And out here is where I is where my wheels started degrading. And so let's crank it in out here in towards the center where I did remove my layout lines. That's about middle there. And now I'm sitting at just a shade under 1,000th. And now I'm getting towards the front edge. And see, now here I'm at half. So I was right. I created basically a hump. There's a half a thou there, and I'm almost at the front. And if we get all the way out to the front here, there we are. We're at about a half a thou. So if I can get this thing half a thou front to back, I'll be pretty happy. But going front to back like this, we did dish it slightly. And as I traversed across the table, my wheel degraded on the way across. And so I'm going to keep making skim passes. I have zeroed my dial, and I'm gonna lower it about a half a thou, which is one of these major increments here. I'm just going to bring it down a half a thou and go front to back again and check back in with you. But we're getting her worried. I thought this was going to be quick and easy, run a grinder over it, flatten it out. But there's a lot to learn about abrasive machining. Oh, by the way, that is a 80 grit ruby wheel made by Radiac, and it's been dressed with a diamond, so it's nice and flat. And so, anyways, I'm gonna lower it a half a thou and start out here in front and work my way front to back again, and hopefully get a little farther in and kind of work this center and try to work that that hump out of this table. But still, side to side. See your half a thou there. Move all the way here to the end. Same. That I'm maybe getting 2/10 side to side. So it's side to side doesn't have me worried. I mean, the machine's very parallel on the side to side movement. Got no problems with that. It's the front to back that's a little tricky on this, and it's just because your grinder wheel goes away as you're using it. And live and learn. You know, this is it's not an end mill, and it's not some type of a fly cutter or anything that's going to always be there for you. This is a consumable wheel that wears away as you use it. So this is something that you need to be aware of if you're traversing across large pieces. All right, so we're going to learn this together. Enjoy, guys. I'll be back after this set of passes. Okay, back again. I'm back with the dial indicator. As you can see, I've lightened all my Sharpie marks, and all the rest of them have been completely wiped away. All right, I'm at 0 at the back. The last pass was front to back again, and it got pretty heavy in the center as I was making my way across. And then right around here, it just started dusting it off. And then the last little bit, it was hardly even touching at all, making very few sparks and just barely pulling off the Sharpie. But I'll go ahead and run it front to back now. It's about 2/10. Coming up on a half a thou. And now we're starting to head towards the front edge. And we're about 3/4. And just maybe 6/10 right there. And she's actually coming back down. And right there, we're probably at about 6/10. Just a shade over a half a thou front to back. And like I say, my side to side is remaining. See, I'm staying right there on my side to side. So I'm not worried about that at all. I'm going to try to get it a little better. I'm going to be a glutton for punishment. And I think this time, I think this pass I'll do it front to back again. And I'm going to just lower my vernier. I've got it set right now for 7. 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah, about 7/10. I'm going to take it down 7, 8, 9, 10. 3/10 more and run front to back. And I think think that's going to take a lot more of that hump out of there. It's got about a half thou hump in it still. And it'll probably clean up the rest of my Sharpies there in the back. But I think at that point I'll have a table that I can trust and that is nice and flat and I don't have to mess with for an awfully long time. I've already leveled the machine. This is its final resting location. It's where it's going to sit. And even with my hokey vacuum collector there, it's working pretty good. I'd say about 75% of the sparks and all that junk goes right in that pipe, even though it's not even aimed at the wheel. But I still got to make my front wheel guard here. I'm safe from explosions. I am completely encased, but I don't feel good about not having a front plate on there. So I do have a front plate started. I already cut this out on the bandsaw. It's a piece of 10 gauge, and then I ran this through the slip roller, and that's gonna be my front guard. And then I still got to make the dust collector inlet, but I'll get around to that too. I just want to get this table squared up first. All right, so one more grinder pass, and we'll check our final results and see how we did. We're at a half a thou now. We're gonna get anal with it. Stay tuned. And here we are back again, and I've done my third pass across the table. And you see my table's really cleaned up good. I got most of the divots out. I've got the two big oopses still in there, but there's no way I'm taking that much off of there. They're just on the corner, so I'm good with it. And here we go. Dial indicator at 0. Out at the front of the table. We're going to go side to side. Okay. Back to center. And then I'm going to take the first quarter of the table, roughly. And on 0. Side to side. It's so hard to read an indicator through a camera lens. It's terrible. Okay, back to center. And now we're going to go to about half. Still on 0. Side to side. Okay. We're going to take another quarter. It's about a quarter there. And 0 again. Side to side. And here we'll do the very back. My last pass, by the way, was 3/10 is what I took off of there with the vernier. And here we are at the back. We're going to go side to side. And I'm real pleased with this table. You know, as much resolution as that little dial indicator has, I don't have a tenths indicator. So it's, I'm within a couple of tenths, front to back and side to side. And I'll go ahead and run it front to back all at once right now. Right now we're right on 0. I wish that thing would focus on there a little better. Gosh, you're just going to have to take my word for it that that thing ain't moving. All right, all the way out in front. And we're about 2/10 below. And I'm completely good with that. If I could hold a half a thou, I was pretty happy. But no, I don't have enough deviation in that table to even worry about now. I'm not actually a tool maker or anything like that, but I wanted a good solid surface. I got a bunch of parallels I want to square up. I got some V-blocks that need a little bit of attention. I got all kinds of stuff around here. After you get a surface grinder, you find all kinds of good uses for it. But just grinding this chuck, I have learned a lot about abrasive machining. You know what? You dial in 2/10, you're going to take off 2/10 until your wheel degrades. It's not a mill. It's not a lathe. You know, when you're on a lathe, you're compelled to take off minimum 1.5 thou, you know, for the tool deflection and the work deflection and things like that. With a grinding wheel, if it gets in the way, it gets cut off. I don't care if it's 1/10 of an inch or 1/10 of a thou or a 1,000th of an inch or 2,000ths of an inch. It's going to remove the material. So it's not like a cutting tool. It's an abrasive. It's very, very different. So forget what you know about a mill. Forget what you know about a lathe. Abrasive machining is a whole new world. Okay, guys, but my dust collector's back together. Pleased with it. Even with the hokey little setup I got going here, it's going to be vastly improved with, I want to get a little shroud on there. All right, but that's the end of my work for the evening. Thanks for watching, everyone.